Boxer Ryan Garcia, in the heart of controversy, is promising he will talk only about boxing now. He's had fans worried after multiple bizarre posts on social media, including a story about him being kidnapped, UFOs, and conspiracy theories. Let's get to it tonight. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored to take a look at this bizarre situation with boxer Ryan Garcia, we have with us sports journalist Siobhan Herndon and Dr. Nick Hardy. Glad to have you here both on The Factor Uncensored. I mean, Siobhan, we've been talking about UFOs, strange things, people out to kill him. What's going on with Ryan Garcia?
I mean, you have to look at it. He's one of the best boxers, lightweight division of our time right now. And to see that he's going through this, it kind of raises some concerns, raises some red flags. When a sport like boxing, you look at, how many blows has he taken to the head? That's such a harsh sport to be in. And you deal with concussions in football. And so for boxers, having to deal with so many blows to the head and the fact that he's going in and out, with his energy, with his social media, saying 1 minute that, hey, this is a hoax, like I've been hacked. And then the next minute saying something else, there are some red flags here and there, cause for concern.
And this is definitely not, in your opinion, publicity. He has a fight coming up with Haney, but in your opinion, this is not publicity. Something is going on here.
Yeah, he has a fight with Haney April 20th, and you have to look at the fact something of this magnitude. When you look at the boxers of the world like Floyd Mayweather, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, I can go back to Muhammad Ali. Boxers have a way of getting into their opponent's head by using, phrases or going to extreme lengths, but I don't think anyone that I can recall has gone to this great of length to avoid a fight or get in their opponent's head.
Do you think they should, and who would make this decision with the erratic behavior we're seeing, almost a meltdown on social media? Who would make the decision to say, no, we're not going to move forward with this fight?
Yeah, it would definitely be the head of the boxing organization, but you have to think about it. His opponent on April 20th can come out and say, hey, let's not do this fight, and people will listen. But his opponent, Daniel, has not come out and said, hey, let's cancel this fight. His opponent believes this is just publicity. Let's go ahead and move on with the fight. But I would think if it's money motivated, we shouldn't do that. We should think about someone's health and what they are appearing to be right now. And that's more important than, making a couple dollars.
Dr. Nick Hardy, what's your assessment of Ryan Garcia after taking a look at his case and researching it? Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely bizarre way to get attention. So, I mean, I can't help but think about it through the lens of mental health. And it's symptomatic of psychosis, particularly around some hallucinations, some delusions. And to your point, one of the causes, among many, could be concussions. And so obviously as a boxer, they're receiving consistent blows to the head. He cross-referenced some possible trauma that happened earlier in his life. And that's also symptomatic of one of the things that could lead to some of these, psychosis or potential delusions,
With you guys taking a look at his case, do you think he has the right people around him or no one around him? Is he just free for all by himself?
I think whenever you're at that level, you're always going to have a mix of some good people and some people who are there with, ill intent and, obviously there for the ride. So it's hard to say, but I definitely believe that you always got to watch who's in his inner circle for sure.
And I want to piggyback. Yeah. I want to piggyback off of that. His family is around. His dad is his boxing trainer. So you have those people that are along for the ride, but you also maybe have family members who are saying, no, you're fine and keep going. And sometimes when you have past childhood trauma, that affects you, especially if it's within your family. And he's saying that this is within his family. So he's carried that for a number of years. And so if you take the trauma and you add it to the possibility of, concussions to the head, you put those two things together. And I think it's time that you take a step back and evaluate yourself, because one thing on top of the other is not a good combination and not a good mix.
Siobhan, did he give any specifics on that past trauma from his childhood?
Yeah, he alluded to the fact that he's been raped as a child from a family member. That's alarming. And then you have his ex-wife coming out saying like, "Hey, he has some issues. I talk to him on a daily basis, and if everyone could just please offer a prayer." When you have an ex-wife coming out publicly to, ask for prayers, then it's serious, because she knows him probably more better than his mom or his dad or anyone within the family. The ex-wife does.
What do you think, Dr. Hardy, should be done immediately?
I think the first thing is for him to get a evaluation. I mean, again, we don't know if this is for attention. We don't know if there's some underlying issues. You have to create a baseline. And I think that baseline is receiving professional help where you get some type of evaluation done. And then from that evaluation, you can move forward.
We wish him well. Make sure